Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. You the man. Thanks, bud.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this year's 2022-2023 award banquet here this evening for the athletes. Great to see everyone here, all the athletes looking good, people looking real good. Before we get started, just a couple quick things here. We'd like to thank, of course, the administration, Dr. Seiler, Ms. Becker, and our AD, Joel Osborne. We know all these people. We thank them very much for allowing us to keep things organized throughout the year. They do a great job keeping it going, and especially Dawn Wallner as well. I think she's the one that actually runs the ship, but we'll give her all the credit we can. Custodians for the cleanup jobs they do after games, contests, matches, and so on and so forth. We thank those people as well. A special thank you to all of our coaches and the athletes themselves. Without you guys, obviously, we would not be here tonight. But again, the entertainment that you people provide for us as fans, people of Redfield, people of the Redfield community, I can't thank you guys enough for all the time and effort the coaches put in and the athletes put in as well. Thanks to all the fans, the parents, grandparents, the other family members that support these young people throughout the year. It's greatly appreciated as well. One more thing, seniors, when it's all over tonight, we need to have you stick around. We have a special presentation for you up here on stage, so if you please stick around after everything is over tonight. We have a presentation on that. Also, we want to thank Ron Wren, Dr. Wallner, and the staff of Community Memorial Hospital for all the medical support that they give us throughout the year. And like wrestlers, weigh-ins, skin checks, football, the sidelines, anytime we needed medical personnel, we had generally one of those two people there as well. So, and Mrs. Ferricks also is usually on the sidelines as well. So we really want to thank those people. Now, to get started, we have six special awards now actually. Here's one that's not on your program, but we'll have 6 special awards to get started with, and there'll be 10 sport activities to start after we get done with the special awards. The first award tonight will be the Mike Remillard Award, Wrestling Award. It'll be presented by Mr. Norm Seabright. Norman? Roebuck Memorial Wrestling Scholarship. Presenting the Adolph Roebuck Memorial Scholarship will be Wade Schwartz.
If you don't know who I am, I'm Adolph's son. Adolph Roebuck awarded each year to a graduating senior at high school, Redfield High School. A committee of 5 individuals will determine the winner each year by criteria set up by the family of Adolph Roebuck. Mr. Roebuck was a big supporter of Redfield High School athletics. He had many grandchildren participating for Redfield Veterans in the past, and still has some members of the present still participating for the Redfield Veterans. The Roebuck family has always been a big supporter of the high school wrestling program and started a scholarship to go to a senior wrestler each year since his death. Receiving the Adolph Roebuck Award this year is Mason Wood.
Our next award is the Richard Dick Muntz Memorial Fan Appreciation Award. It gives me great pleasure to give this award year in and year out. I may have been the last person to talk to Dick. Him and I were announcing a baseball game down here. It was the Morris Radigan baseball tournament. At night, the game went into extra innings and it was about midnight. Dick says, I'm not feeling real good. I think I'm going to go home. I said, okay, see you in the morning, Richard. Well, morning didn't come for Dick. And his family, Lynn Muntz, Lynn Flint, as most of us know her now, made this award possible to be given each year to the Fan of the Year. We support the Redfield Pheasants athletic program year in and year out. And this year's recipients, I should say, plural, is Don and Rita Massett. If you please go with me. Our next award will be the Flo Hyman Outstanding Female Athlete Award. Presenting that will be Mr. Joel Osborne.
Thank you. The Flo Hyman Outstanding Female Athlete Award is a tribute to the great Olympic volleyball player Flo Hyman, who died at the age of 31 of Marfan syndrome during a volleyball match in Japan on January 24th, 1986. Flo worked hard to assure equality for women's sports and will be remembered for her numerous athletic achievements. This award is given to an outstanding female athlete for her leadership, sports skills, character, and work ethic, including her dedication, perseverance, patience, and courage. We are proud to present this year's Flo Hyman Award to Cameron Rolfs. I'm going to keep Cameron up here because we also have a scholarship award for Cameron. The Heisman High School Scholarship was created in 1994 through a partnership between Wendy's and the Heisman Trophy Trust. Most people recognize the Heisman Trophy as a collegiate award, but the Heisman Trophy Trust program extends into our nation's most esteemed high school seniors by celebrating and rewarding outstanding male and female scholar athletes who understand the most important victories happen not only on the field, but also in their schools and communities. The program aims to inspire all students to harness their potential, push their limits, and use their talents not only to advance their own futures, but to improve the communities and the world around them. This year we had one person, Cameron, receive this award from our school. She advanced to the state competition. Didn't take home that prize at the state level. It was a young lady from Sioux Falls, Lincoln, and a young man from Webster that were to win those awards. But on behalf of the Heisman Scholarship Committee, we would like to offer a gift of Certificate of Achievement to Cameron for her accomplishments through her athletic career, and wish her well in her upcoming endeavors.
Our next award is the Pat Terry Award, Cheering Award, and that will be presented by Mrs. Angela Falk.
So the Pat Terry Memorial Award is awarded to a cheerleader who has cheerleaded at least 4 years throughout 7th through 12th grade. So this winner brought a positive attitude to the squad this season. We only had football, sideline cheer. And she's willing to try new ideas from the underclassmen. The award goes to Noelle Kastner.
Thank you, Mrs. Falk. Our next award is the one that is not on your program. This is a pretty special award that became available. It's called the Hoffman Memorial Award. It is from Philip, South Dakota. And presenting this award will be Mr. Doug Wright.
This is actually from 2021, so I don't have a lot of criteria on this. The Phillip Wrestling Club gave this to us in 2021, and like I said, no criteria, so I really don't know what they're going off of this, but the winner of the $500 memorial is Gavin Nickel.
Once again, congratulations to all the special award winners. Greatly deserved, and I hope it's muchly appreciated by the people that won those. Getting on now with the rest of the program. At this time, we will start the athletic awards themselves, starting with the boys basketball, and we're going to do the boys golf at the same time. Presenting those awards will be the assistant coach of the boys basketball team and the head boys golf coach, Mr. Bradley Sheehan.
Okay, need all the boys basketball players, JV and varsity, please come up. Okay, while they're coming up, a few thank yous to start out with. I'd like to thank all the office staff, Dawn, Stacy, just for keeping all the boys basketball team informed on what's going on. This year is changing travel plans, times, Just making sure we have everything done and just making programs done smoothly. So girls basketball as well for getting those programs done for us. Joel Osborne for scheduling, getting the officials and all the behind the scenes stuff. Definitely as we change game times for JV and stuff throughout the year, appreciate him. For Dalton Howe and Nick Copeland, who are assistant coaches this past year, so Nick kind of got to step up and help us. Late in the season as we battled some injuries, bringing those middle schoolers up and being there in practice just for another set of eyes and another set of hands to help us in practice. This year we had 12 athletes out of varsity boys basketball returning lettermen with 4 seniors and 4 juniors. When the injury bug hit us, we had to move up 7th and 8th graders to play JV, which gave them great experience while practicing against our varsity players and playing in the JV games. Our varsity letter winners. In order to letter for boys basketball, an athlete needs to participate in 25% of varsity games. This year's winners are Nolan Gall, Jaron Hyder, Mitchell Mack, Zach Aiken, Justin Radigan, Tristan O'Daniel, Elijah Morset, Seth Domke, Nels Backel, student managers Jack Mills and Alex Schottenkirk. JV, most valuable player. This individual was our leading scorer on the JV squad. When he was on the court, he was asked to bring the ball up and be a leader on the team. He also led the team with most free throws attempted and most free throws made. He will be asked to fill the guard position next year on the varsity level as well. So this year's JV most valuable player goes to Tristan O'Daniel. Most improved player. This player, when he looked at what he did last year compared to this year, was hands down the most improved. He practices like he plays in a game. You ask him to get the basketball and he will do it. He led us in rebounding with 220 rebounds, mostly defensive this year. And offensively, he improved from 1.4 points per game last year to 6.1 points per game this year, shooting 40% from the field. This year's most improved player goes to Justin Radigan. This year, varsity team captains, this is voted on by their peers. So at the beginning of the season, we vote on this to select who our captains will be. And this year's team captains were Mitchell Mack and Nolan Gall. Next varsity award that we give out is defensive player. This athlete was called upon to guard opponent's best offensive player. He did a terrific job all year in every game that he got out. Even at times when he was giving up 3 to 4 inches. This year's defensive player went to Nolan Gall. All-conference players, NEC all-conference players. This year we were lucky enough to have 2 selected all-conference. With 13 honoree, Jaron Hyder. An honorable mention, all conference, to Mitchell Mack. Varsity, most valuable player. Led team in scoring with 16 points a game. Led in 3-point shots made, and shot 41% from the field on the year. He was our spark plug on offense. With this year's most valuable player going to Jaron Hyder. Pheasant Award. This award goes to an athlete or athletes who come out and do all the little things you ask them, being practice, games, scout team, wherever they're called upon at the time. They've never complained about the role on the team and are always there to assist with the program. They came in with a smile on their face day in and day out. This year's President's Award are going to be two recipients, Zach Aiken and Elijah Morrison. Uh, 2023 Boys Academic All-State. You must be a senior, have at least 3 years in the sport, and cumulative GPA of a 3.5 or higher in high school. This year, the boys basketball team had 4 meet this criteria: Zach Aiken, Nolan Gall, Jaron Hyder, and Mitchell Mack. Just one quick note here from Coach Howe as well. Look forward to next year with the returning juniors, young athletes as well, for them to gain some more experience and keep the tradition going that these guys started. Thank you. If you're in golf, stay up here, Patrick. Golfers, all my golfers, middle school, high school golfers, please. Sorry, I'll give them a quick break to get up here and give myself a break. Okay, so this is just a small portion of our golf, I guess, for the year. So I was very pleased with our number of golfers out this year. So middle school, high school, we had 19 golfers out. So it made practice kind of chaotic at times, trying to just keep everything going, keep everyone organized. But it was a great problem to have. So looking forward to next year with most of these guys returning. So start out, we have 2 seniors this year. So 2 seniors, just step forward. So Mitchell Mack, who's golfed, how many years, Mitchell? 4, 5, 6, somewhere like that. So golfed at least all 4 years of high school plus, and Nolan Gall joining us this year as well to aid the team. So I'd like to thank both of you to start off for your year. Mitchell, thank you for the past couple years with me as well. So thank you, seniors. Okay, also continue with thank yous. I'd like to thank Mr. Tiff. So if it wasn't for Mr. Tiff coming in and subbing for me, it'd be really hard for me to be gone. Thank you, Don, for contacting him every time I need to be gone once a week. And Joel for working with me on our schedule throughout the year. Our schedule is not quite as great as the Girl Scout program, but we still switch things around a lot and try finding where the best place to go, best time to go, find a meet's going to be. So thank you as well, Joel, for that. Boys golf this year, MVPs, could not really select one. Broke down, look at scores, they averaged the exact same on the year. They both give me leadership on the course, off the course, help my younger guys. These are 2 guys I look forward to a lot this year. Getting them to my younger guys when I need to go work. There's a couple guys I'm trying to get ready for the varsity level, so we can compete at the region level in varsity. So this year's MVPs go to my senior who's given me been running several years, Mitchell Mack, and to Jackson Campbell, who's been a huge role model for the younger guys as well, and one that we missed at regions this year. Most improved. So this year I went with a younger golfer who gave me a look at our future, what we're going to be bringing up. This could have went a couple different ways. We had a couple different younger guys really step up this year, push these older guys for spots. I think towards the end of the year, some of the older guys are getting a little bit nervous. They're going to be able to keep their spot for regions. So do it by anyone can play off for a spot at any time. These were some kids who started stepping up at the end of the year, really pushing them to get better and keep improving and make sure they were the ones representing Redfield when we went to compete at regions. But this year's most improved golfer goes to Mike Zastro. State qualifiers, so at a region meet down in Mitchell. We were lucky enough to go down the day before this year, get a practice round in Mitchell. It was kind of chaotic going up to regions. But a week, 2 weeks before, it was just very chaotic. We didn't really know where we were going to be, what was going to happen. But we made it down the day before to get a little bit of golf in, to see what the course is going to give us the next morning. And we came out and had a really good day. We missed qualifying as a team for state by 9 strokes total, which is top 4 golfers. And we missed individuals. We had Seth missed it by 4 strokes, I believe, right, Seth? I believe it was 4 strokes that Seth missed it by. So we were right there to get another individual qualified as well. Tristan was right behind him, but by 1 or 2 strokes. So very bright future. Looking forward to next year with losing only 2 seniors. But state qualifiers this year were Mitchell Mack, Nolan Gall, and Kevin Weller. Letter winners. This year we had 6 letter winners. Mitchell Mack, Nolan Gall, Tristan O'Daniel, Jackson Campbell, Kevin Weller, and Seth Domke. One academic all-state. Remember, we got to have the 3 years in for golf. So Mitch was our only one eligible even for this honor, but Mitchell did get academic all-state as well. So good job, Mitchell. Sorry. Also, team-wise, we made academic all-state as well. So you have to have over 3.0 all your varsity golfers or team. And we're at a 3.25, so nice job to the team as well. Okay, just last remarks, I guess, from me. Looking forward to next year. So losing Mitchell here, we're going to have a lot of seniors out here next year. Definitely looking forward to younger guys coming out. So if you do know of someone, or you have a 6th, 7th grader coming out, encourage them to come out, because we will be definitely losing some guys next year and needing to build for our future. So thank you.
Mr. Sheock might be one of the busiest guys in Redfield School between basketball, golf, leading the FFA group, the shop. The guy stays busy, let me tell you. Thanks a lot, Riley. Good job. Our next awards. I don't know if Brad mentioned the head coach for basketball. I forgot to do that when I introduced you. Our assistant coach's volunteer coach was Dalton Howe, and of course, the head basketball coach for the boys this year was Lance Howe. We appreciate the work that those guys put in as well. Next, we have the volleyball awards, and those assistant coaches for Mr. Osborne were Sarah Roselle, volunteer coaches, Ms. Brianna Gore, and Jess Lefso. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Joel Osborne.
All right, thank you. To begin, I would like the following team members who finished the season in good standing to please stand and be recognized. Our managers this year were Maddie Seabright, Jocelyn Becker, and Ella Rude Peterson. Freshmen, Terry Lee Bonine, Carly Brabant, Hayden Gall, if you could remain standing then as well. Kylie Herman, Cora Kruger, Jerica Radigan, Kinley Smith, Ashley Stroud, and Cece Suker. Sophomores, Addison Evans, Amanda Patrick, and Brooklyn Rishi. Juniors, Jersey Morrison, Katie Roselle, and Chloe Zenz. And our seniors, Ashlyn Clausen, Gracie Fast, Cameron Rolfs, Annie Smith, Valerie Smith, and Marie Willer. Let's give these girls a round of applause. Then if the following would please come forward onto the stage. They have met the criteria for lettering in volleyball, which is 15% of the varsity matches. If they would please come onto the stage to receive your pins and your bars. Freshmen Hayden Gall, Kinley Smith, and Cecilia Suger. Sophomore Brooklyn Richmond. Juniors, Jersey Morrison, Katie Roselle, and Chloe Zems. And our seniors, Ashlyn Clausen, Gracie Fast, Cameron Rolfs, Annie Smith, Mallory Smith, Marie Weller. And if my managers are here, Maddie Seabright, Ella Rude Peterson, and Jocelyn Becker. If it is if it's your first time as a letter winner, you would get an R for Letterman's jacket. So I believe our 3 freshmen, they may have got it in another sport, but if not, please make sure you grab an R. This group up here also achieved the Academic Team Award by maintaining a grade point average above 3.0. So congratulations to these girls on achieving that Academic Team Award. We also had 4 players receive the Academic All-State Achievement Award. These awards go to senior girls that have been involved in volleyball throughout their senior year and have participated and contributed at least for 3 years on varsity or volleyball in general, and have maintained a 3.5 GPA for all 4 years in high school. This year we had 4 of them, and that is Gracie Fast, Cameron Rolfs, Mallory Smith, and Marie Weller. We also had 2 young ladies make the Northeast Conference volleyball team. These 2 ladies were Cameron Rolfs and Gracie Fast. Our season, we finished with a 19-13 record. Took a nice long trip out to Belle Fourche for a tournament. Visited Mount Rushmore. We ate at Belle Fourche. I don't know what we call that for sure. Steakhouse or something to that effect. It was good. Had a nice time out there. We were able to make a return trip to the Sodak 16, where unfortunately we ran up against the state champion team in Sioux Falls Christian. Once again, I think this is the 3rd out of 6 years that we've happened to face Sioux Falls Christian in the Sodak 16, and they've won state every year that we've played them. But these girls did a very good job, and pleased to give them a number of our team awards this year. First of all, we had a few school records set this season. First one was kind of a shocker, and actually made her go back and watch the game film and see if she came up with the same number that I did. Wanted to make sure I didn't miscount. Sure enough, she said she had this number. I go, plus, you get 1 more ace for them being out of rotation because they were so confounded by her serve. She did have the most aces in a match for us and set a school record. Mallory Smith had 12 aces against Custer. Our next 2 records are career records, and it's the first time, really, that going back to looking at our records, that Redfield, at least in the last 17 years, Redfield has had a 1,000 career digs, and also a 2,000 career assists leader. Cameron Rawls achieved both of these records towards the end of this regular season and postseason. She finished her high school career with 2,032 set assists and 1,016 digs. So for those school records, we have not only a plaque, but also the game balls to give to Cameron for those accomplishments. Our next award is our Most Improved C-Team award. Our Most Improved C-Team player would do really whatever we ask of her and steadily improved throughout the season. She's almost as kind-hearted as you could ask for in a person, and we really appreciate her on the team and look forward to her continued improvement next year. This award for Most Improved C-Team player goes to Carly Brabant. Our Most Improved JV player took steps towards becoming an elite player this past year. She accepted her role to be a distributor of the volleyball. She enjoys the success that others have, because when they have success, that means she has success as well. Our Most Improved JV player this year was Hayden Gall. Pheasant Award for us epitomizes athletes who work hard. They lead by example, they accept their role, they don't complain too much, and do the little things to make everyone better. We have two recipients this year of the Pheasant Award. They are Marie Weller and Katie Roselle. Our Most Improved Varsity player is a young lady that really transformed herself this past year and a half to become a very reliable player for us, and easily was voted upon as our Most Improved player. She has a love for volleyball, and we're going to miss her next year. Our Most Improved player is Mallory Smith. Coach's Award goes to a young lady that improved her mental and physical toughness. She took a lead this year in the off-season to make sure to get better, and we're pleased with her efforts throughout the season. We're happy to present our Coach's Award to Tracy Fast. Our Miss Hustle Award this year goes to that prototypical scrappy player. She's kind of a pest that gives her all to dig a ball up, maybe reach for a block, out-hustle others to keep points alive, and those points with either a hammer kill or maybe even a little dink kill as well. Our Miss Hustle this year goes to Chloe Zenz. And last but not least, our most valuable player. She has been a tremendous athlete for Redfield High School the past 6 years. She led our volleyball team in numerous categories this year, including aces, digs, serving percentage. She's accomplished a lot, helped our team become better throughout her years at Redfield. Our MVP this season is Cameron Rawls. personal note, I'd like to thank Coach Roselle, Coach Gore, and Coach Lefso, our middle school coaches, Jenna Radigan, Kylie Hawkins, Rosso, as well for all they do to help our young ladies achieve more and more here with our volleyball program. Thank you very much. Look forward to you guys having a great season next year. Thank you.
So I was told to speak because nobody else wanted to do it. So I also had a speech written for me as we were sitting right over there. I would like to take a moment to thank Joel and Sarah, as well as the volunteers, Jess and Brianna, on behalf of the rest of me and senior girls. Although we were just short of our goal of making it to state, we made so many memories that we will literally never forget. Some of these were when Joel dyed his entire head pink during the Warner game, when we went to Belfouche and he got a yellow card after arguing a ridiculous call after we got beat out and responding, well, good thing we're leaving. And lastly, the no excuses lecture, which we all know way too well. Brianna and Jess have helped us improve so much during practice, and we cannot thank them enough, and I'm just really doing it, I don't think they are. But we really appreciated having them at practice and games. And then adding Sarah to our team this year was really beneficial for our team. I think we all love her just a ton. You have been a light for our team, and we are all so excited to see what the future holds for you and your family. Okay. Osborne, you have been with us and stuck with us for all 4 years, and we are extremely grateful for everything you have done for us. You have done so much behind the scenes and have spent countless hours for our benefit. So, thank you.
Goodbyes are always hard. Thank you, Ms. Roselle. Mr. Osborne. Hope you're back next year, Phil. I really do. Okay, next we have cross country. Head coach for our cross country team this year, Miss Alondra Harrelson.
I would like to introduce and have the team come up to the stage, whoever's present. Peyton Moore, Nels Backel, Connor Grunwald, Christian Peterson, Charlie Youngberg, Emma Futhman, Faith Wright, JD Turner, and our student manager, Kendall C. Bright. The first one I'm going to recognize here is our hardest worker. We had two. The first one I'd like to give is to Christian Peterson. This young man came in as a sixth grader, and every summer we get together and go for group runs in the morning at like 7 o'clock. He was my lone wolf that came and ran with me about 3 to 4 days a week. So he was always Miss J.D. Turner's running partner during the season as well. So, Kristen Peterson, you have a great future in cross country, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you got next year. Okay, this young man, this was his first season out for cross country. And he was a goofball, but you know, you need those goofballs to keep your team spirit high. I would talk of like, hey, what are we gonna do today? How are we gonna start this race? I'm just gonna run. Okay, that's all right. He's not here tonight, but Connor Grunwald is our most improved cross country runner. We were running in the 14s and the 15s. And by the end of the season, we were down in the 13s. So, try to get him out for track, but I didn't have to go after that. So, Mr. Connor Grunwald is our most improved. Rookie of the year. This goes out to a brand new cross country runner. This is going to be awarded to J.D. Turner this year. In track last year, she did one sprint for me, and I was like, "You are not a sprinter. Come to cross country." And she did. We started off with JV for quite a while, and then we worked and repaired and to get her ready for varsity races towards the end of the season. We improved our 5K time by 2 to 3 minutes by the end of the season, and yeah, you've had a great year, so I'm very proud. Rookie of the year is J.D. Turner. Okay. This comes to no surprise for our most valuable girls runner. She's been the most valuable girls runner for the past 2 years. She's not here tonight. She's up in Aberdeen, I believe. But we have ran a 22:04 for our best 5K time this year. Our times were kind of suffering towards the end of the year. All of my varsity runners were doing dual sports. So when you are working and running and playing 2 sports all at the same time, we're bound to have some fatigue and some tiredness. So she has done great, and I hope she continues on, but I do believe she's going to volleyball next year. So either way, she's has deserved this honor for many years, and that would be to Miss Charlie Dunworth. The next hardest worker is Nels Bachl. He came to me this year, and I saw his name, and I was like, I've seen this kid's name before. And I'm like, that's weird. How can I have seen this? Well, I've seen him at Building. And he's just a ray of sunshine. He wanted to prove to his coaches, wanted to prove to his coaches at Building that, hey, I can do this. I can be a great 5K runner. And he ran his best time of a 1940 at Building. So he has worked very hard. He has improved his times, and he has been very dedicated to the sport of cross country. So hardest worker, Nels Bachl. His PR this year was a 1907 that was ran down at our home invite. Again, we were kind of suffering for some regional times. It's funny that they canceled track meets for 40-degree weather and 30-mile-per-hour winds, but cross-country kids are like, hey, it's over line. But we do it. We go out there, we battle the elements, and we run our best. So most valuable runner for boys is Peyton Moore. Our letter winners, in order to letter, you would have to run a sub 25K for boys, or top 15, or make it to state. For girls, it's the same thing, except for your time is a little bit different. You have to run a sub 23 5K. The 3 individuals that managed that this year were Peyton, Nels, and Charlie. I'd just like to close out with a quote from Elid Kipchoge. If you don't know who he is the best marathon runner in the world right now who has done a 1:59. This quote kind of spoke to me because it can kind of apply to all sports, not just running. To win is not important. To be successful is not important. How to plan and prepare is crucial. When you plan very well and prepare very well, the success can come on the way. Then winning can come on your way. This applies a lot to cross country because you can't run well if you don't run. So these kids have done really great, and I cannot wait to see what they're going to do with their running careers in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Alondra. Cross country has got to be one of the loneliest sports out there. These kids run forever. And I got the opportunity to go to the regional cross country meet this year and help officiate it, I guess. And the look on Peyton Moore's face when he came around the corner and saw me was almost priceless. Anyway, great job, you kids. Appreciate all the work you put into that. Our next sport will be track awards. Assistant coach is Shauna Polly. Co-head coaches, Mr. Mason Altman and Ms. Alondra Harrelson.
Will all of our current track members come up here? While they're coming up here, I will be introducing and honoring our awards for last season for girls, and Coach Altman's will be honoring the awards for boys for last year. Just some current things going on this year. It's been very interesting, to say the least. If you follow our track and cross country page, where I try to keep most of our community and our team and parents up to date on current information. We have done very well considering that our first track practice on the track was April 14th. So, like 14 days. We haven't had a lot of practices on the track. Our first track meet was Tuesday of last week, and then on Saturday we went to Gettysburg, where we had a 30-mile-per-hour headwind on the home stretch, and if you do 300s and 400s, that is not your friend. But considering that, we still had a great day with lots of PRs and all sorts of the events across track and field. Tomorrow we have Miller. We also go to O'Gorman on Friday. I will find out at 8 o'clock if we get into Hubbard Wood for Friday and Saturday. And then we have any season regions. And then our season will come to a close. So just some things. In order to be a letter winner for this season, or last season, you had to score 12 points throughout your year. So the girl letter winners are Cameron Rolfs, Janae Paulson, Taryn Rondo, Ruthie Croney, Katie Roselle, Charlie Youngworth, J.D. Turner, Jersey Morrison. I had Ruthie Croney twice, apparently I really liked her. And Kiara O'Daniel and then Reagan Nelson were our letter winners for this year. Our team captains last year were Olivia Owens and Janae Paulson. This year, our girls' team captain is Cameron Rolfs. The Sprinter of the Year award, I gave that to a very deserving senior last year, Janae Paulson. She worked her tail off last year, and she took off about 2 seconds off of her over 200 time. And she was part of our 4x1 relay that made it to state last year as well. So the Sprinter of the Year was Janae Paulson. Distance of the year goes to Charlie Youngworth. She ran a 6:06 mile at Redfield last year and got second place. She was very crucial in team points for hurdles and for the 800. She's continuing to show improvement in all of those events this year. So she's got a great foundation for her future in track and field. So distance winner of the year is Charlie Youngworth. Field of the year, I gave this to two young ladies. The first one I gave to was Reagan Nelson. She showed great improvement in the discus by the end of the year. And she also helped give us points throughout the season with her improvement in that event. The other one I gave is to Katie Lozelle. She continually is showing how to make it to state in the high jump. She has set goals for herself to keep improving and to be getting that 5 foot that she really, really wants in the high jump. So Field of the Year would be Reagan Nelson and Katie Roselle. I honored 4 young ladies for the breakouts for this last year. First one was J.D. Pope, Kendall Seabright, Jersey Morrison, and J.D. Turner. These 4 ladies have improved in shot and discus, and you're showing even more improvement this year, so way to go, Johnny. And then the three ladies, they've been really sticking with me for these 800s as much as they maybe not want me to put them in 800s, but they're doing great, and they're improving, and they're pushing themselves even more so. So congratulations. Congratulations. Our MVP goes to Cameron Rolfs. She has ran all of her best times last year at the state meet, which is where you want to be running your best. She was also crucial in getting our 4x1 relay team last year. Ruthie, Taryn, Danae, and Kiara to state. She could not compete in the 4x1 at state because you were only allowed to do 4. And she qualified last year in the 1, 2, 4, and the long jump. she's been a wonderful person to coach and to watch grow in her the certain events that she does. And she'll be very missed for the next year and all of her guidance that she provides the younger kids in track and field. So MVP, Cameron Rose.
Okay, so this is my third year, this is my second year as Redfield boys head coach. Last year, was just another year. We didn't have a super big boys group, but the group we did have last year was super enjoyable to be around. We had a lot of guys that, just flat out wanted to work hard. And a lot of them, I challenged them to just be yourself. Every meet you show up to, don't compare yourself to those state qualifying times or, those people that, that top half of the state. Focus on yourself and try and beat yourself every week. Get a personal best every week, and by the end of the season, things can work out. First guy we're going to honor is our sprinter of the year, and I was awarded to Cameron Schmidt, who was a senior last year. There's a lot I can say about Cam. He was a hard worker. He came with probably about the best attitude that we had on the team. Super enjoyable to be around, was always willing to do whatever he could. If he was not in 4 events, he would usually ask why. He was one of the few that loved being in 4 events, and that's what I loved so much about Cameron. And he never did get to qualify or place at too many meets, but he was a hard worker, and he really deserved that honor. Distance of the year goes to Mr. Kyle Woodring. Kyle was a guy that, we got him to come out, and he turned into a guy that turned in more into a distance runner where he wanted to be kind of that 400, maybe 800, but now we've kind of shoved him running the 1600, and he's just a great leader. Even today, he's getting warm-ups going when the coaches are talking. He's worked really hard to get where he is athletically, and I'm super proud to see where he's come. And he's been, our only distance guy right now, and he's doing a great job. I'm excited for the rest of the year that he's got this year, and he's going to keep running till the end, and hopefully that gets him to where he wants to be. Moving on to our field athlete of the year, we had one boy qualified for the state meet down in Sioux Falls, and it was a really interesting situation this year, starting last year, where they have all of the classes down in Sioux Falls, and it was, as much of a parking situation as it was. It was awesome. It was awesome to have all those athletes in one spot in the state. Elliot Comras came out for the first time last year, and I tried to get him to come out, and he finally accepted it, and he turned out to be a great athlete for us, whether it was sprinting, long jump. He got a good 20-foot mark that got him into the state meet, and really all I told him going into that state meet was, let's just jump your best. If you scratch, you scratch. Okay? The best mark you're going to get is where you almost scratch, and he ended up jumping a lot better than a lot of other kids and ended up getting 10th. Which was just, slightly out of placing. But nonetheless, qualified for state in his first year. Field athlete of the year for the boys is Elliot Comras. All right, then our 4 breakout athletes of the year. Just some guys that, doing a great job this year of just doing what I tell them is, improving your best each and every meet. And even though we haven't had the best conditions yet this year, they're still doing a good job. They're beating their personal best. They're working hard. You can see that they care about it when they're at meets. So breakout athletes is Jackson Sandos, Justin Radigan, Jacob Baranin, and Elijah Morissette. Okay, and our last individual award is our boys team MVP. This was awarded to Elliot Comras. Just him, being a guy qualified for state, it's a tough thing to do, especially, it seems like South Dakota has got a lot of tough track and field athletes. Elliot Comras was very deserving of this. Qualified for state, getting 10th at the state meet down in Sioux Falls. So our boys MVP is Elliot Comras. And like Coach Harrelson said, it's tough to let her in track. You just flat out have to place in meets, and that's what really all that matters when it comes to T points. And when it gets to the state track meet, we want kids placing. We want kids placing at conference and at regions. So lettering for a track program was tough to do. We did have a few of them though. Jacob Baranin, Elliot Comras, Jackson Sandos, Justin Radigan, Kyle Woodring, Cam Schmidt, Colin Frericks, Peyton Moore, and Tristan O'Daniel. And lastly, our two team captains for last year were two seniors from last year. That was Colin Frericks and Cameron Schmidt. All right, thank you guys for, last year was a great year. Hoping to get some better weather this year and beat our personal bests. I've had a great experience coaching all you guys last 3 years, seeing you guys grow and mature as athletes. It's been very special for me, so thank you guys. We're excited to have the rest of this year be good once we get some good weather.
We do have some junior high kids sitting right over there that are part of our track team, so ladies, stand up. You're part of our track team as well. One more thing. I would just like to say this is the first time in several years that at the regional meet, at any meet really, that Redfield girls have been able to fill out every event. We are growing, and it's amazing to see that we can now compete on a level appropriately with other schools in our region. The last few years, we've only been able to fill very little events, and this is the first year that I can have a relay, or the girls run, or every event is filled. And that is something that deserves to be recognized by our girls. I'm finished. Anybody else? Open, see them? You good? All right.
Have all the sympathy in the world this year for our track team and our girls golf team. My goodness, it seems like every time we have a meet scheduled, an event scheduled, it gets canceled due to Mother Nature. But they've been squeaking in a couple here in the last week or so. And I understand Mr. Falk's got the girls going to Roncalli on Thursday, if we can keep the rain clouds away from us. So at this time, we'll introduce the girls golf team and their coach, Mr. Kyle Falk.
All right, first off, I'd like to get our thank yous out of the way quick. I'd like to thank Dawn for the administrative work and everything she does behind the scenes for us. We wouldn't be able to pull most of this off without her. Mr. Osborne for the scheduling help and helping me chase golf meets that seem to not exist. And last but not least, I'd like to thank Mr. Bradley Chiog for all of his infinite wisdom and just everything he helps me out with and the opportunity to go to an awesome petting zoo today. That was great. All right, so if I could have my girls come up here and we'll introduce you quick. So senior Marie Weller, sophomore Eddie Evans, and they have 2 8th graders, Amelia Jersa, Grace Lemmer, and the 7th grader, Katrin Evans. All right, so highlights of our year this year. We got to go outside and golf last week. What else did we do? Oh, we did have a meet Thursday, and we went to Dairy Queen for team bonding one day. Okay? Other than that, everything else has been canceled because of the weather. I got a few awards to give out from last year. Okay, we have 2 most improved team players, and those go to Marie Weller and Cece Suger. And team MVP last year was Addie Evans. We also had 3 letter winners from last year, which include Addie Evans, Marie Weller, and Cece Suger. And I tried to set the record for the shortest speech possible, so that's all I got for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Falk. They got the holes in out here at Fisher's Grove, so you actually got something to try to put a ball into other than a garbage can or coffee cup that you've been using here all spring. So glad you kids can get outside finally and play the game the way it was meant to be played. You gotta be real careful. I introduce this next group because one day in Mr. Sheegock's class I was substituting, and I don't know, there was 3 or 4 girls out here that accused me of not showing the excitement for girls' teams as we do for the boys' teams, so I can't wait for when we introduce the girls' basketball team. But before we do that, we introduce the wrestling crew. Assistant coaches, Doug Wright, Shane Wright, Grady Edgar, and our head coach, Mr. Wade Slaughter.
Thanks, Bob. I don't know if I can keep it as short as Mr. Falk, but we had our wrestling banquet last week, and I know time is coming up, so I'll try to keep it as short as possible. Many of you know this was my final year coaching at Redfield. It's been a great, humbling 10 years that I won't forget. It's been an honor to coach here. Prior to coming to Redfield, I was a head coach in Cheney, Washington for 10 years. And an interesting fact about Cheney was that it competed in Washington State Wrestling Tournament in 1955. Then I came to Redfield, which hosted the first wrestling tournament in South Dakota. So I feel very fortunate to have coached at programs with that kind of tradition. It's been an honor. As for the 2022-2023 season, the regular season was kind of a tough one. We had a rough time from week to week getting our lineup together with injuries, sickness, you name it. It seemed like we had it. I seem to give the same speech every week. You go to war with who you have. And, our dual record was 8 wins and 8 losses. our tournaments. We were in the top 2 or 3 each week, but we continue to improve. And at regions this year, we tried to put our best team out and tried to fill as many of the weights and put our best lineup out. And kind of challenged the guys. We had a lot of success at the regions, and always told them it doesn't matter what happens in December and January, it matters what happens in February. So after the dust settled, these guys found a way to win the 7th. We won the regional tournament for the 7th consecutive year. It was one of those that was a total team effort. We had guys that it was their first year wrestling, winning matches, scoring points. Our veteran guys were doing what they needed to do, and it was a proud day to be coached there. And that set it up for the state tournament. It's kind of an adventure, one that we left on Tuesday to beat a snowstorm and spent basically a week in the hotel getting ready. But the kids went out and wrestled and competed very well. And we came back with a 7th place finish at the state tournament. I think we'll have my seniors come up first. Brady Brissiter, Gavin Nichols, Mason Whitley, and Seth Seabright. Okay, so I had these posters made for these guys. We'll start with Brady. Brady came into the wrestling room and he was barely 70 pounds. He's one of those guys that wasn't able to get on the varsity, in the varsity lineup until he was a sophomore. And his sophomore year, he went out and placed 5th at the state tournament. His junior year, he placed 3rd at the state tournament. And this year, as a senior, he was an undefeated state champ. He ends his career with 116 wins, 14 losses, and is a 3-time state placer. The next senior, Mason Whitley. I said it the other day, he's a steady and a reliable wrestler as I've coached. I can't think of a time that he wasn't in our lineup. He's been a true competitor, especially when it mattered. He finished this year 4th at the state tournament, ends his career with 158 wins, and he's another 3-time state placer. Gavin Nichols. Prior to his senior year, Gavin was a 3-time state qualifier. He was looking forward to his senior year, looking to get his name up on the wall in the wrestling room. If you're a state placer, we put the names up on the wall. And I know that's something that he vocalized to me that he was ready to do. Unfortunately, due to a football injury, he didn't get his senior year. But he ended up spending his senior year being one of our biggest supporters. That's Gavin. Our last senior, Seth Seabright. He came back to wrestling his senior year, and we're fortunate to have him. He ended up winning the Redfield invite, and he qualified for the state tournament, which is a big accomplishment. That's Seth Seabright. So I think what I want to do is call all of the guys up here, Chase McGilvery, Grady Pye, Jackson Sandos, Colin Dean, Dylan Murray, Camden Murray, Madden Odland, David Lopez, Connor Zenz, Peyton Moore, Nicholas Pecker, John Booth, Willie Bloom, and Adrian Whitley. These guys were all letter winners this year. I think they'll get bars, and the new letterman will get an R, and their little pins. But our awards, so our plaques, our state plaques, our first one was for Brady Rissiter for being a state champ. Mason Whitley placed in 4th. Our next one, Chase McGilvery placed 8th. And our last one, Grady Pye was a state runner-up. Just a couple things about Grady. He's been one of those, another guy that's been steady and reliable. He's been on varsity since he was in the 8th grade. He's been in the finals the last 2 years. Unfortunately, he hasn't gotten his goal yet. And I did say yet because I truly believe he'll get his goal next year. Looking forward to watching that play out. Our awards voted on by the wrestlers. The most improved goes to Colin Dean. The Rookie of the Year, which goes to the newcomer in the varsity lineup, goes to Madden Odland. The Hardest Worker Ironman Award, which speaks for itself, goes to Mason Whitley. The Sportsmanship Award goes to Grady Pye. The Pheasant Pride Award goes to Gavin Nichols. They had 2 outstanding wrestlers for the light guys. The outstanding wrestler was Brady Rissiter. And our outstanding big wrestler, 152 to 285, was Grady Pye. One of the things I'm most proud of, all of these guys up here are homegrown. They all went through the Redfield program, and they came through and wrestled for Redfield. Oh, yes. Last award. One more. The Coaches Award, which is given to the senior that exemplifies all the things that we as coaches look for and expect of the senior. And that goes to Mason Whitley. But like I was saying, these guys all wrestled for Redfield in the youth program, and they wrestled for us in the high school. We're one of the few programs in the state that can say that. As far as thank yous, I'd like to thank our AAU and youth program to continuing to provide us with wrestlers, Wilbur Nelson, Bob Tiff, who's the voice of the Pheasants, Don Waldner, the administration, Joel and Kendra for your support, Melinda Five for organizing everything for us, managers, Lily and Adrian, but most of all, I'd like to thank the coaches, Shane, Doug, and Brady. We had a couple of volunteer guys, Jake Lefso and Cameron Pudwell, that came up and worked with our guys quite a bit. So now, as a former student, former athlete, now a former coach, I can honestly say I'm proud to be a Pheasant.
What a crew. Coach Slaughter couldn't have said it more properly. He said they're all homegrown. And I guess there's not many teams in the state of South Dakota that say all the wrestlers in their program started in their hometown and AAU and the whole kids wrestling program. So congratulations goes out to all you guys. Next we have girls basketball. Assistant coach, Mr. Kyle Falk, and the head coach of the Redfield Lady Pheasants, Mr. Tommy Gray.
Well, normally I'm a little long-winded, but the over-under on me this year is 12 minutes at Vegas, and I took the over, so I'd like to read a passage to you guys from the book To Kill a Mockingbird, so I can cover. Just kidding. Just, okay. I thought I'll holler about that. I'd like to thank some people first. First of all, our athletic director, Mr. Osborne. We share a lot of the same kids with volleyball and basketball, so we work together quite a bit. Thank you for the 13 home games this year, and thank you for the 13 away games next year. Or maybe that's Mr. Seiler. Dr. Seiler, Ms. Becker, Mrs. Falk for supporting our program. Office support staff, Don Walner, Stacy Hubble, thank you so much for all you guys do there, making sure the kids where they need to be. Our custodian, Amanda, Mark, Donnie, bus drivers, Brendan, Roth, and Darvin Dickout, and then we had live ticket this year that I was assigned to, but couldn't do it both at the same time. So Joel and Mr. Silas stepped in a couple of times. Mr. Tiff kind of took the lead on it for basketball for us. So very much appreciated there. And then our radio people of Alan and Ted. So thank you very much. Okay, we're going to introduce our JV and C team. We'll have you guys stand up. We'll give you a round of applause, and then we'll bring our varsity and our varsity squad up here. Hold the applause again, please. Charlie Youngworth, Kayla Schultz, Tia Esser, Kendall Seabright, Bryn Giblin, Grace Lemmer, Carly Braybrand, Carmen Herrera, Ella Rudy Peterson, Kinley Smith, Siobhan Phillips, Addie Evans, Kate Gall, Miley Fry, Layla Hardy, Cora Kruger, Jody Polk, and Maddie Morissette. For the eighth graders, they start in November, and then once their season's over with, they end up joining us. This year, I think they got a handful of C games, which was nice, but they joined us in practice, so they probably got about 45, 50 practices in. We feel like it gives them a jump start for the next year. It's kind of long for them, because it's the first time they've ever played that long, but very fun to have them around, and we're excited for a lot of them. Our varsity squad, if you would just come up when you read your name. Gracie Fast, Cameron Rawls, Chloe Zenz, Ashlyn Clausen, Ashton Arthurs, Ella Rude Peterson, Ellie Evans, Carmen Herrera, Annie Smith, Addie Evans, Kate Roselle, Kinley Smith, Hayden Gall, Jody Polk, and Carly Graber. I would also like to thank, I see one of them here tonight, our junior high coaches, Miss Rosso and Miss Roselle. Miss Roselle is a former player. She's moving on. I thank you. I think it's pretty neat to have a kid who's coach come back and help with your program. So we very much appreciate them. And then my sidekick, Coach Falk, for keeping it real with me. We've got our own sense of humor, so you got to know us to understand it. Letter winners this year. Okay, lettering criteria for girls basketball must play in 35% of basketball contests during the season. Okay, so our letter winners this year are Marie Weller, manager, Charlie Nussbaumer, manager, Ashton Arthurs, Grace Fast, Annie Smith, Ashlyn Clausen, Ellie Evans, Cameron Rawls, Kate Roselle, and Chloe Zenz. Marie's up here. She was a manager. Thank you for all you do. She's very thorough and organized. We figured that out when she was an 8th or 9th grader. Big shoes to replace. Charlie Youngworth was also, I believe, three-year manager, and then Ashley Stroud is here as well. She filmed for us. So thank you guys very much. Keep that going around. Academic All-State for girls. Basketball is given out by the Coaches Association. You got to play 3 years and have GPA of 3.5 or higher. We have quite a few gals win this. No particular order. Annie Smith, Gracie Fast, Marie Weller, Ashton Arthurs, Ellie Evans, Cameron Rawls, and Charlie Nussbaum. Next, I'd like to thank our seniors. We had an interesting year. First, we had a hard time getting everybody at practice, just through various reasons, sickness and things, and then throwing a bunch of bad weather, so we started, stop, and it was a little rough for us. I think at one point we were 3-8 with 4-8, and then we kind of went on a tear. Probably had to hit rock bottom. We lost a pretty close home game. I'm not going to say who it's against, but they know what I'm talking about. And then it was basically us coming at the world after that kind of mentality. And we kind of caught fire there. We, at the end of the year, beat teams with 13, 14, 15 wins, and just really got after it. It was fun. Lots of contributions all over, so very, very memorable. We ended up finishing the conference at 500. I think we were 2-5 at the time, and won out the rest of the games. So that was very, very fun. Last summer, I don't take a whole lot of stock of what happens in the summer when we play. I'd rather have them in shooting and stuff. But we went to Northern's team camp, and we were close in a lot of games last summer. But Groton gave us probably the biggest licking I think we've ever had in a summer game. We got beat by 30, and I remember leaving the Barnett Center kind of scratching my head, thinking, are we not so good, or is Groton really good, or what? And then we go over there late February and beat them by 9. That was pretty gratifying to see those kids take a big lump in the summer and then turn around and just deliver it back. So that was one of the highlights of our season, among a few others. Okay, our seniors, these gals combined for 52 wins in their career, and we did qualify they did while they were in high school for 2 Sweet 16. So very much proud of them. This is the biggest group I've ever had. We have 8 kids. We did senior night. We had to do it front and back, and that's making, I like to write a little bit about each one of them. Font size 10. So it's pretty neat. I got to have it on like 2 sheets of paper to hold on to that stuff. So pretty neat. Senior night was another very memorable night. I thought we played really well. We were outside by quite a bit. We dug deep and beat a good Northwestern team at home here. So that's always nice to send those kids out with the W and senior night. All right, for our awards. Okay, we will start with the varsity. Okay. The first award is our Miss Hustle Award. This young lady was one of our minute leaders on the year. She gave us a big spark at the beginning of the year on offense. Faded a little bit, but I think she was a little dinged up and wouldn't really allude that she was dinged up. But she was always out there just being scrappy, doing whatever it was that we needed her to do. And our Miss Hustle for the varsity is Ashlyn Clausen. Miss Defense, we award two plaques and go by position. We go guard, forward. I'll do the forward one first. This young lady was probably playing out of position, but played, basically came down, she was our tallest kid, but had the longest arms. And got marked out a lot by me because that's what I played, and you probably noticed that a lot. But she held her own. Second half of the year, we kind of got going. We changed up some scheme things. She blocked some shots. She's going to leave our program 3rd in blocks since I've been here. And our Miss Defense, she's always got a smile on her face for the forward spot. Greasy fast. Guard position. This young lady did a lot for us on both sides of the ball. She's going to leave our program 6th in steals. She's part of the 100 Steal Club. She's very good at anticipating away from the ball, and then you can see when she got the ball in the open court, it was an easy 2. So that was always fun. And she was willing to guard good players. And that's going to go to Cameron Ross. She was also an NEC honorable mention. She led us in assists this year. She'll leave our program 4th in assists, worth noting as well. The next one, the most improved, and I think if you've ever coached before, this is kind of the funnest award to give. We like to see kids improve. This young lady doubled her scoring from last year. She led us in free throw attempts, and looking at the squad this year, we didn't have a ton of girls that like to get to the rim, just put their head down and go. She was that for us. She gave us that part to our offense. And then the last third of the year, she doubled her assist output, almost tripled from the beginning, first 7 or 8 games. And it was fun to see her progress over the last 2.5 years, and that goes to Ellie Evans. Our team MVP. This young lady, if I could describe her, we used her like you'd use a switchblade, not switchblade, like a Swiss Army knife. She did a lot for us. She guarded some pretty good players. She can guard a point guard through a 5 if we need her to. She led us in rebounding. She led us in scoring. She was second in assists, first in field goal percentage. And she was a 13 NEC selection, and that goes to Kate Roselle. JV awards, we had a few to give out here. First, we're going to go with Miss Defense. With our JV squad, we ran a lot of zone defense this year. Typically, we don't run a lot of zone defense, but with personnel and it's what we needed to do, we switched to that. This young lady played in the middle, and she was kind of like the Berlin Wall in there. She really shut the middle of the paint off for us. I bet when we went over to the JV tournament in Clark in 3 games, she had 35 plus rebounds. And she wasn't scared to foul you either. If you came in there, you get hit a little bit, which is done to protect the rim fairly, we're okay with it. And this defense goes to Jotty Pope. Next, most improved. We feel like this young lady does have a bright future for us. She's very unselfish, and we're hoping she becomes a little more aggressive because she showed us a bunch of little flashes. She had some times where she learned the hard way in JV games. And I remember being kind of sad after games because she might have got barked at a little bit, but it's kind of part of the process. And we're very excited. We saw more flashes from her at the end of the year, and our most improved goes to Hayden Shaw. Our Miss Hustle. I remember when I reffed a 3rd or 4th grade girls basketball game 5, 6 years ago, whatever it was, based off her age. And I remember her picking the girl up right at the half-court line, which you can do, but you can't full-court press. And I was kind of like, all right, we got somebody that's just going to calm the crap out of people for 2, 3 years. She plays hard. We're going to get her to play even harder next year, not foul as much, but she's always all over the place. And she's also improved her shooting by quite a bit. And we're excited to see her progress next season. And that goes to Miss Hustle, JV, Ella Reed. And lastly, our JV MVP, and this was a tough one. We had a few candidates in mind here, but it came down to consistency and getting better every day in practice. She played inside for us, and we're excited about what she can do. We got to get her in the weight room a little bit. Get her a little stronger. She showed good field goal percentage inside, and we're excited, and that goes to Kinley Smith. That is all I have. I thank all of you guys. I'm excited for the future. Sad to see our seniors go. We'll miss the Mitchell team camp with them and the hotel trips and stuff. But I am excited to work with our returning gals this summer. Just don't sleep on us next year. That's kind of what we're thinking. I know we lose a lot, but we're going to get after it and give them everything we can. Thank you.
We'd like to thank Mr. We'd like to thank Mr. Greg for coaching us since like 4th grade. It's now for all the hard work he put in with scouting and training us for different teams. We'd like to thank Mr. Falk for always telling us what time practice is out, what the conditioning is, and what we're doing. Really makes practice enjoyable. No. Yeah, thank you.
Coaches, thanks girls basketball team. Our next group might be one of the most overlooked group in Redfield. The work that they put in usually doesn't get noticed as much as some of the teamwork does. They're a group that's near and dear to my heart. I like the cheerleaders. I always have. I always appreciate everything they do for our teams throughout the years. And this year, their coach, Mrs. Angela Falk.
I would like all 7 ladies to come up. I would like to say thank you to the squad and thank you to their parents. I knew nothing about cheerleading until 2 weeks prior when I did all the trainings for coaching. I enjoyed seeing their growth this year, and I'm excited to help coach them next year. I'd like to thank the seniors for our adventurous bus rides with our part-time driver, Mr. Falk. It always made for an interesting trip. I do have a Spirit Award. Our Spirit Award is for the cheerleader that brought new ideas to the squad for them to try. They had a positive attitude, and they were a great communicator. And that goes to Marky Lewis. And that's all I have.
Next we have our football coaches. Assistant coach, Mr. Keith Gall, Mr. Cameron Pudwell, Mr. Kevin Dunn, and our head coach, Mr. Mason Altman. Before Mason gets up here, I want to just confirm I had the opportunity to work with all these guys. Cameron, I kind of taught him everything he knows about football. No, just kidding. But absolutely one of the greatest group of guys that you could put together here as far as working, enjoying the game of football, knowledge of the game of football, and being able to convert their knowledge over to our players. These guys do one heck of a job. I want to thank them right now personally.
All right, so we'll either save the best for last or just the guy that if people want to leave early, it's okay if you want to listen. Okay, so before I start with football, I want to start off with kind of how the summer went. This year I had the opportunity to work with all of our Redfield athletes, and even some that did not go to Redfield, but they wanted a chance to go through strength and conditioning program. I was very fortunate to be able to do that this summer. We had a 4-day workout program which involved 2 days of running and conditioning and then 2 days of lifting. So this was for our male and female athletes. Sports ranged from golf, football, volleyball, basketball, track and field. All of our sports we had a lot more participation honestly than I thought we would. And it was super fun for me to see the growth that these boys and girls had this summer, because really, you can't fake it in the weight room or out on the court running. And I could see that when these, especially these older kids this fall and winter, seeing what they were doing out on the field, on the court, you can tell that they put in the work where, no one really sees it. What you do in the dark will come to the light. And a lot of these kids, really took that to heart, where they had to get up early. They weren't getting very many good jobs for going. They weren't getting a whole lot of recognition for doing what they did. And then having to come, the first thing they see in the morning is me. And a lot of them, it looked like they were okay with it, whether they really were, I don't know. Okay, but they still showed up. We had a lot of participation, a lot of kids up over that 80% participation, and still, my overall goal was to have most kids show up to at least 50% of workouts, and the kids blew that out of the water. So if you were one of the athletes that showed up to any of the strength and conditioning this summer, can you please stand up for me? So, as you can see, we had great numbers. I think when I went through the attendance board and I saw how many kids showed up, all the kids that showed up at least once, I think the total number was 56 kids, boys and girls, which I thought was phenomenal. These kids, I had to get up at like 4:30 every morning to come do it, but it really wasn't that hard for me. I was always there, and I always loved seeing the kids every morning, whether they were tired or not. They were there to work, and they did a great job. So give it up for them one more time. I know it wasn't easy, but it really was. So an award I gave at the end of the summer, I gave an Iron Pheasant Award for a boy and a girl who, they displayed just those characteristics of an Iron Pheasant. The person that you saw in the weight room, they were there most of the time. You usually could count on them being there, whether it was running, conditioning, or lifting. And when they did show up, the great thing was that they usually let me know, which they don't have to, but they all know that's kind of my thing, is if you're going to be gone, just let me know. And they always did that, or always shot me a text or something. And when they were there, they were at the front of the line, they were modeling what everyone should be doing, they were helping people, and whether they thought they could do it or not, they were always willing to, listen to me when I said, well, throw 10 more pounds on. Whether, I know you might think you can't do it, but I know you can do it. Okay? And they would do that. And it just showed from the growth from the beginning of the summer to the end that the two people that got this award, they truly deserved it. And the two that won that was Mason Whitley and Mallory Smith. Come on up, guys. And, as you can see, those are two, of our best senior athletes right now, and I don't think it was a huge coincidence that they were some of the best in the weight rooms and out of conditioning either. Okay, so moving on with football. With a great summer of conditioning camps, I got the opportunity to go down to the Lennox team camp, which Lennox is where I graduated high school. I have a great relationship with their head football coach. And we got invited to go to a 2-day camp down there with about 6 or 7 other teams that ranged from 11B up through 11A. We got some really good competition. We went down there, played against a lot of teams that we don't get to play much, but we got to play against Elk Point Jefferson, and that really kind of showed us where we were at that point. And it was kind of funny that that's kind of where our season ended up, was against that team. We got to have a lot of things figured out at that camp. Kind of got to see who had their roles in different places and what things we had to adjust at that camp. And we were down there. We had great team bonding. We ended up staying in a very, very nice hotel right by IHOP, and ended up having our day at camp. Went back to the hotel. Got up kind of early for our next morning to camp, and then we got to go to Wildwater West to end our trip down in Sioux Falls. Got to see plenty of great things. Some big fellas with their shirts off, having a great time at Wildwater West. It was great. Coach Pudwell got to do go-kart, I think. It was just, the biggest thing for me is whenever I wanted to go down there and, get better at football, see where we're at for the season. But the biggest thing I wanted to achieve that camp is I wanted to have fun with these kids. And, for the most part, we had a great time at camp. Getting to see them have so much fun at Wildwater West, it was great for me. I think we had great team bonding. Taking 2 short buses and a Suburban down there, whatever we could to get down there. I think we did great. We were down there. We kind of got our butt kicked, but I think in the end it was good for us. Later on, we had our team camp here. Got some more stuff figured out, and then we kind of got on to our season. So for the 2022 season, we ended up at 6-4, 1 more win from the year prior. We were 5-4 2 seasons ago, and I'd say kind of a similar season. We started off with a very tough loss to Hot Spring at home. And if any of you kept up with 11B football, they played a really good rest of their season too. We were really one of their toughest opponents all year, and we both kind of ended up in the same spot. Finishing 6-4, that was with 1 playoff win. If any of you traveled down to that game, it was a game of an inch that, we battled. We had to play a really tough team. We made some mistakes, they made some mistakes, and at the end, it came down to us needing a stop on a 2-point conversion. And, Tiff tells me the story all the time. He was standing right there on the sideline when it happened, and, that ref made a great call. They were an inch short, and that ended up being, we were an inch away from being, as sad as we could be, but instead, we were on the other end where we were ecstatic. We got that first playoff win in 11 years, is that what it was? That, it was unbelievable that, getting to see that and the celebration behind that, the excitement of the crowd, that playoff win it was something special that I guarantee you I will never forget. Us as coaches will never forget that. It was something special, something that a lot of teams, don't get to be a part of. It's something that Redfield hasn't gotten to be a part of for a long time, and I'm glad I got to be, just a small piece of that. And when we got to the midpoint of the season, I know we had some winnable games coming up, but we kind of just let some of our core values just kind of dip a little bit. Our program was built on a lot of discipline, attention to detail, and I'll be honest, we struggled with that near the middle of the season. So, and a lot of football guys will know what I'm talking about, but we had a pretty good chat one day. When I kind of just had it, we had some guys, not showing up for lifting, showing up late, and I think we got some stuff figured out that day, didn't we? I think we did. Then after that, we had a nice chat, and we went on a run. We had, 3 great games. We were heading into the postseason. Sadly, we had, a tough, it was a great game against Duluth. We ended up dropping that one. And in reality, I think it put us in a better spot for playoffs. And, you know, that we got that playoff win. And, you know, we eventually, kind of like the volleyball team, all roads led to, you know, Elk Point Jefferson. We saw them in the summer, you know, and I'll be totally honest, I saw them this summer. I'm like, if that team doesn't win state, I will be shocked. And, you know, we went down there, we played in the rain, we took a long trip, we did stop with rookies, you know, do a little walkthrough, you know, kind of go through our special team script, and we went down there and had to play a game with tough conditions, and we had to play the best team in the state, and a team with 17 seniors, and, you know, we had them scouted out well, but that was a great team that we had to play. I give a lot of credit to their head coach, but sadly that's where our season ended, down in Elk Point to the eventual state champs. All right, so now all football players, can you please come up on the stage for me? And managers. Okay. The first award, which is, you know, the most important award to me, you know, there's no plaques, there's no trophies, there's no certificates for this award, but it's the highest honor in, you know, any team that I'm a part of. It's going to be the highest honor that there is, and that's our team captain award. We have 3 of them that are voted upon by the team, and then we have an honorary captain each and every week to go out for the coin toss. So when we have our team captains, the way I do it is, you know, these are going to be the guys that, if you were going to, you know, put our football program in the presence of 3 people, this is who would display what our program is. And I couldn't agree with who they voted on this year more. I thought, you know, these guys were great role models. They're good in the classroom. They were guys that were, you know, playing 90% of the snaps on the field. They were just guys who wanted to play behind. And, you know, these captains, they have a lot of pressure on them, because from when they get voted on to be captains, I straight up tell them, this is your team, it's not mine. Yeah, I get to be there, I have to organize stuff. But this is your team. I have whatever, how long I coach, I'm gonna have lots of teams. This might be your only, you know, couple teams that you have. And they took that and they ran with it. So our captains this year was Mason Whitley, Chase McGilvery, and Grady Fye. Just great kids. I'll always remember that, you know, their work ethic, just them being vocal in practice, that, you know, this was their team and they treated it that way. If there was someone who, you know, wasn't following our, you know, our team values, wasn't doing what they were supposed to, I could usually count on these guys to address it, and it would get fixed pretty quickly. Okay. Now we'll move on to our team awards, which are also all team voted on by the rest of the players. Our special teams MVP. This kid came into the year, last year I came in and said, I want to kick field goals. You know, I kind of got some weird looks, and, you know, that hadn't been done a lot, but he had a decent year last year, but this year he stepped it up. I didn't count him for sure, but had a bunch of field goals for us, including a go-ahead field goal or extra point that led us to topping Mobridge at the end of the game. Your special teams MVP is Elliot Comras. our next award is one that is, it's super important to me. This is it's that thing that a lot of people don't want to do, but the person that wants to do it the most is the one that won this award, and that is our Scout Team MVP. So if you don't really know what a Scout Team is, that's a team that, we put together. They run the other team's offense, defense, and usually has to do with some JV or younger guys that, they may not see the field very much, but especially with a team as small as we had this year, a lot of guys had to play Scout Team. The guy that got this award was a guy I usually always put where the other team had their best player, whether it was wide receiver, running back. If there was a guy that I knew was going to give us some trouble that week, this guy usually got put in that spot. We had a couple people that were close on votes, but when it came into the end, John Booth was our Scout Team Player of the Year. John, you have to get some pretty cool passes when Coach Opens was Scout Team QB. Defensive MVP. So our defense was one of the best in the conference. We had one of the best run defenses in the conference for sure. The guy that won this award, it was voted on by his teammates, and the award is the MVP, Most Valuable Player, and this guy definitely was that. If we did not have him on our defense, I think our season could have had a lot different outcome. Have this guy in the field all the time, the entire game was, he was critical to a lot of our wins, our success. Our defensive MVP is Nolan Gall. Yeah, and our offensive MVP, this one was, I'd say, pretty easy for the team. We had 11 B's leading rusher in yards. We had the highest rushing offense in the state by one rusher. He's a kid that, Iron Pheasant Award winner, great wrestler. This kid came into work all summer, and he came in with a chip on his shoulder that last year was not good enough. He knew that. He knew I knew that. But I never had to tell him anything. This kid did it all on his own. He came in, he worked, and there wasn't much that this kid would screw up. He was our best player by far. He was a kid that, if there's anyone that a young player should look up to, is this kid. He was amazing for us this year. Team captain Mason Whitney. Okay. Next award is our all-conference selections for the Northeastern Conference. We had 4 conference wins this year, so we've got our 4 all-conference winners and then our 2 honorable mentions. Our all-conference winners get a NEC medal, and our honorable mention get a crisp handshake. Okay, our all-conference selections is Mason Whitley, Elijah Morissette, Grady Fye, and Keaton Rolfs. Make sure you guys check the handwriting on those. I took a lot of time to write on those. Right, Don? Just kidding, Don did it for me because my handwriting is terrible. Honorable mentions for the NEC Conference is Nolan Gall and Justin Radigan. Okay, and our last group of awards is our letter winners. Orlando Cruz, Nolan Gall, Elliot Comras, Gavin Nichols, Keaton Rolfs, Seth Seabright, Mason Whitley, Kyle Woodring, Grady Fye, Chase McGilvery, Elijah Morissette, Justin Radigan, Alex Wren, Creighton Bauer, Jacob Araden, Colin Dean, Camden Murray, Dylan Murray, Jackson Sandos, Nell Spockel, John Booth, Kenneth Colbinson, Ethan Falk, Noah Johnson, Ian Youngworth, Peyton Moore, Madden Odland, Connor Zenz, and Jack Mills and Kevin Weller as our managers. And just while they're kind of handing those out, my lettering system is a lot different than a lot of our other teams here. I don't just take our participations in games as criteria to letter. In our handbook, we have stuff about being in multiple sports, volunteer hours, being a team captain, being scout team player of the week. All of those different things go into getting that award of getting a letter. It's something that I think it should be hard to do. And a lot of these kids that got our letters, last year the entire team did not get letters. This year our entire team lettered. We had a couple games where everybody got into the game and played because our team played well enough to put us in a position to put in some of our younger guys. And sadly, we never did get a JV game just because of our numbers and some guys that were dinged up every week. But it was hard to letter, and most of these younger guys that got it, they got it from playing in those games, and then they got it from volunteer work or being in other sports. Which I think, that if you're gonna model a town, your volunteering is what does it for you. And whether it was, some freshmen or sophomores that maybe didn't get to see the field very much, but then in the summer when there was a volunteer opportunity, they were usually there. Now, whether that was our captains that were, helping to lead that, we had a lot of kids help either move people or you guys have to clean out a shed or something. Had a bunch of stuff in it. Yeah, moving a bunch of stuff that wasn't super heavy or, yeah. But a lot of great guys that were willing to donate some of their time, even though, they work all day, they have workouts in the morning, and even, helping a fellow staff member at their school, who you could tell she was struggling with having to move all her stuff, and I think we had it done in a couple of hours. We totally moved her entire apartment from one building, moved her into another apartment that was up, a sketchy set of stairs, and, they got it done, and she was more than thankful, and and these guys, they had a good time doing it. We had some interesting conversation and maybe a few arguments along the way, but for the most part, this is just, a fantastic group of guys that had a lot of success this year, and they deserve it. And I just want to congratulate these guys on an amazing season with me this year. Okay, can I have everyone sit down except for my seniors, please? Okay, so next award I want to give out is for our academic All-State from the South Dakota Football Coaches Association. In order to be qualified for this, you must have a 3.5 GPA at the end of your junior year, and you must be a senior. The recipients of this award are Nolan Gall, Keaton Rolfs, Mason Whitley, and Orlando Cruz. The academic All-State, I think we had 5 or 6 last year. We got, 4 of the 8 guys tonight that got them. It's, that's something I'm super proud of when I get to go to All-State meetings in November. There's a lot of teams that go up and they get 1, maybe 2 of those academic All-State certificates. And I've been fortunate enough to go up and, you know, they really say, do you really need 4, or do you really need 5 or 6? And you know, I'm happy I get to say yes to that. I have a bunch of guys that don't just do a great job in the classroom or on the field, but they're also doing a great job in the classroom. So I have some gifts to all the seniors. We did some pictures last year, but again, my fiance was very crafty and creative, gave me this idea. So just to tell you guys thank you for your hard work and for being role models for, you know, the teams you have been on. This is just for me to say thank you to you guys, and you know, just to give you something to put on your graduation table for your parties. That, you know, just to thank you guys. I appreciate your hard work. I appreciate everything you've done for your community, and for me as a coach, it has been awesome for me to see you guys grow, and I can't wait for you guys to walk across the stage in a couple of weeks. So give it up for your 2022 football season. Okay, I know I'm running long, I'm sorry. I just want to thank a few people before we leave tonight. First group of people I really want to thank is our football moms. You know, when I first came here, I was looking for a great group of mothers to help me do things that I know I would not be very good at. So whether it was fundraising, helping feed these boys before and after games, you know, when we had these long road trips for playoff games, I usually just had to text and ask, well, what are our ideas for feeding these boys? And usually it was all figured out, and I did not have to do much. So, you know, Melinda Fye, Teresa Lepso, I mean, a lot of other moms that I'm missing. Thank you, ladies, so much. You took a lot off of my plate, and it was, in the end, it was all for these boys, and you guys did a fantastic job, and I can't thank you guys enough. Next, I want to thank administration, Dr. Seiler, Mr. Osborne, Ms. Becker, you know, giving me the opportunity to do what I do, and you know, football takes a lot out of me, and you know, and I know it's hard on everyone. It's a busy time of year, and whether you know it comes to finding subs or dealing with scheduling or you know all my questions, I just want to thank you guys, along with other staff, other coaches, you know that I ask for advice for. I'm usually asking a lot of questions all the time. So for anyone that's helped me out in that fashion, thank you very much for that. Okay, and just also to the community of Redfield, I thank you for welcoming me in these last 2 seasons as your head football coach. Getting to you know play games on Friday nights in front of a complex with standing room only, you know, hearing when we score, someone gets a long run, hearing how loud the stands got, it was something that, you know, it gives me chills thinking about it, that it was awesome having an atmosphere like that. And it was because of the community, it was because of you guys, you know, family, friends of these guys that gave them the environment they deserved, and I just want to thank you guys for that, along with, you know, the medical staff we had on the sidelines. You know, if we ever had anything, Dr. Wren, Kathy Frericks was down there. It was just, again, just kind of something to take off of my shoulders. We did have a scary injury this year that, you know, was for me. Yeah, so, you know, injury that, you know, Dr. Wren helped and, you know, kind of put me at ease, and I can't thank him enough. He didn't have to do that, you know, he didn't get anything extra for that. He did that just for his community, and you know, I thank him and, you know, Kathy Ferris for that a lot. Last thing I'll leave you with is, last group I want to say thank you to are you boys. You guys have done more for me than, you know, I can say. You guys have given me memories over the last 2 years that I know I'll never forget. You guys let me be a part of, you know, a football team again that, you know, I got to do it in high school, I got to do it in college, but, you know, this has been a special group for me to be a very small part of that. the memories, the good times, you know, whether you guys are giving me crap or maybe it's the other way around, I thank you guys for that, and I mean that, and you know, there's things that you guys have done for me that, you know, I have a hard time explaining, but, you know, if there was a word that was better than thank you, I would say it. So, boys, I thank you again. And with that, as many of you guys know, I am leaving Redfield after this season. Leave with a heavy heart, but with a lot of gratitude towards everyone in Redfield. You gave me the opportunity to learn and to grow as not only a coach, but as an educator, and just, you know, as a young adult. You know, I try not to say I'm an adult too much for the way I act every day, but you know, I'm getting there at some point. So it's a very tough goodbye for me, but again, to everyone who has helped me along the way, helped me to give these boys a positive experience, along with, you know, my coaching staff, Keith Gall, Cameron Pudwell, and Kevin Dunn. There's no way I could have done anything close to this without those guys, you know, calming me down or, you know, helping me out, giving me advice. They truly gave me an experience that I didn't think I'd ever get. And I just want to thank everyone at Redfield for, you know, these last 2.5 years. The new coach, Mr. Brasilio, I think I'm handing the reins to a very capable young man that everyone should be excited for, and I look forward to following Redfield athletics in the future. So thank you again, Redfield.
Thanks, Mason. Class act guy. In closing, thanks everyone for coming out this evening, sticking with us. Greatly appreciated. Athletes, I know they all appreciate it very much. Thanks again for your applause when needed. It was greatly, greatly appreciated. At this time, if we could have all the seniors please stand up. Can't thank you people enough for all the entertainment that you've provided for us as fans, as the community. Once again, so much appreciated. You guys are a wonderful group. I have a lot of you in school, and I get the luxury of substituting. Ladies and gentlemen, some of the greatest kids I've ever had around me in this school at any time. Thanks, seniors. Thank you very much. Congratulations to all the award recipients here tonight. Well deserved, each and every one of you. Now, the goodbyes. Mr. Altman, thank you for the time and effort that you put into Redfield High School. The athletes greatly, greatly appreciate it. Your predecessor, Henry Brasilio, he's a defensive coordinator for Presentation College, and he'll be coming to take Mr. Altman's place, and I'm sure he's going to do a great job. He has a great background. Appreciate the administration for hiring that gentleman. He seems to have got the opportunity to meet him. Absolutely seems to be a great guy. I think you guys will absolutely enjoy this gentleman. Mr. Schlatter, wow. Had an outstanding run in the wrestling program. We'll miss you a lot. Predecessor, Mr. Kelby Hawkins. Kelby wrestled for Groton in high school and for Webster in high school. He wrestled at South Dakota State University and Northern State University. His credentials are up here. He'll take over and do a wonderful job. He's going to have the backing with Doug again, I'm quite sure, and Brady, and anybody else, the alumni that can come out and work up with these guys. Cameron, you might have to lose a little weight, wrestle with Brady next year, but hopefully we can throw you around. Okay, last but not least, Mr. Osborne, I'm going to say this to the administration to start with. don't look real hard for a volleyball coach, okay? Because I think we'd like to have him back next year, truly. Honestly, we would. I know he has mixed feelings about that. It's not leaving because he doesn't like who he works with. Sometimes it just becomes a time. But we'd sure like to have Joel back again next year. And one more person, he's not here tonight. I thought he would be because he's just about everything else. Mr. Seiler. People, you have no idea what that gentleman does behind the scenes for athletics for Redfield High School. I get to work with him quite a bit with volunteering and stuff that I get to do, that I'm honored to do. That guy gets things done. He started our wrestling tournament that we have now, the Invitational Wrestling Tournament. He's at just about every activity event here and on the road, so on and so forth. That guy is greatly appreciated. He's going to Bon Home. I told him one of the stipulations he has to send Bon Home wrestlers up here next year for stay for our wrestling tournament, and we get it on the team. With that, seniors, stick around. We have some things up here that you have to pick up yet. And with that, in closing, we want to wish you all a good evening. Stay safe, and don't forget to support the Redfield Pheasants.
Cam, the silent auction we had out in the front for this pheasant football game that was made by Lynn Brace. Silent auction winner was Mr. Bob Tiff. Thank you. Seniors, we want you to come up, grab your banners. Get up in the gym, then grab your banner.